Hey Fred, it's Bill. I wanted to run this idea by you. Um, what I'm thinking about making next is the rear steam bar, and I drew this sketch. It's almost life size, and in a minute I'll unclip it from the boiler and take it off so you can kind of take a look and see what you think of it, and whether it's a good. What I'm asking, do you think this layout is worthwhile, or should I do something different? I can scan and email this drawing to you as well, but I'll show you what I've got. Starting from the steam header bar here, and I'll use a valve behind it. I'll use the little ball valve with the handle that goes up and down instead of the circle thing. Then it'll go into the rear of the boiler here. There's the two other fittings that are behind here. One is an angle valve that cuts off for the Coles sight gauge, which is already installed. I just haven't piped it yet, so that will be out of the way. And then the American Model Engineering pressure gauge will be on the last, the most forward of the little pipe fittings on the top of the boiler. And so what I'm thinking is, for the steam bar, I drew this one, at first I drew it 5 inches wide. I don't think I need it to be nearly that big, but probably like 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch, or 3/4 inch by one, or 1 inch by 1 inch. I could make it that big. I could make it 1 inch by 1 inch. Probably don't need to be that big. But I drew this to be 5 inches wide at first. These lines here are at 4 inches wide. I'm thinking that's going to be plenty. But the idea, the layout, what I had in mind was just directly piping in a 5/16 inch copper line that comes down here and supplies steam straight to the injector start valve, and have it high enough up so that it's not in the way of the Johnson bar. So I can just turn the right hand side is all go stuff. Thinking about how they lay out an aircraft cockpit. Injector, Johnson bar over here, blower, throttle. So all the go stuff is kind of right hand. This line, I guess I'd put a angle globe valve in here, or some kind of globe valve in, and a line coming down the 3/16 inch line to the Loco Parts brake valve, which I'm thinking about mounting on the running board back here on the left hand side. Left hand side being all the stop stuff. So similarly, having a copper line coming out of the left hand side of the header to another one of the quick start valves, and use that to supply steam down to the Loco Parts vacuum ejector, which will supply the vacuum to the brakes on the tender. So I'm driving along. What I'm thinking is, driving along, okay, close the throttle, pull the Johnson bar back, and with the right hand, if it need to brake real quickly, flip on the quick start valve. That's going to start the vacuum to the brakes on the tender, and then simultaneously, or next thing, just reach down here and turn the brakes on the locomotive, the steam valve, the Loco Parts steam valve. So let me know what you think about that layout, please. And the other thing I didn't point out here, but you can see, even at 4 inches wide, the only controls I've got coming out of the steam header are the blower and a valve that's going down to the Loco Parts brake valve. That's just a simple on-off. I can't think of anything else I need right now. I could put in 1 or 2 extra plug holes just for future reference if there's something needed, down the line. So please let me know what you think about that kind of a layout. And I'll pull this out of the way. You can see it kind of a little bit more in real life. So the header bar up here, the globe valve to the top of the sight gauge there, and then this is that special fitting I made for the the steam pressure gauge. So that'll be sitting right here. This, of course, will be off and then on. I can probably make a new little handle to keep that out of the way. So blower valve here, injector start valve, Johnson bar is going to be over here, throttle's here. The another over to the left here, start valve used for the brakes, the vacuum ejector, and then the Loco parts brake valve down here. Hope that makes sense. Please let me know what you think. Thank you, sir. Bye.